Hello, everyone. Welcome to the U.S. Immigration Hub News. Finally, some good news in U.S. immigration. And for many families, workers, and applicants who have been carrying stress and uncertainty for months or even years, this moment matters. February 2026 is bringing a series of positive across the immigration system, touching work permits, green cards, visa processing, and even deportation priorities. This is not a single dramatic policy change, and it is not a miracle fix to every delay. But taken together, these developments signal something many immigrants have been waiting to hear: movement in the right direction. In this video, we're going to walk through the real immigration good news emerging in February 2026, explain what's changing with work permits, green cards, deportations, and visas, and help you understand how these updates may finally bring relief if you or your family have been stuck in limbo. If you are liking this video, please hit the notification bell, subscribe, and like it so that you can get updates straight to your smartphone. Now, let's get into the video. For a long time, immigration headlines have been dominated by delays, backlogs, and uncertainty. Processing timelines stretched out, interviews were postponed, families waited longer than expected, workers feared losing status. But as February 2026 unfolds, there are signs that the system is beginning to rebalance in several key areas. And that balance is starting to show up in real practical ways. One of the clearest areas of improvement is work permits, also known as employment authorization documents. Throughout 2025, many applicants experienced long waits just to receive permission to work legally in the United States. This affected adjustment of status applicants, asylum seekers for family-based green cards. This is especially important if families separated across borders have waited patiently, often with little information. In recent weeks, more cases have advanced from approval to the next step, including movement through the National Visa Center and onward to consular processing. While not every case is moving quickly, the overall pace has begun to improve compared to late 2025. Inside the United States, adjustment of status, applicants are also seeing progress. Some applicants are receiving interview waivers, while others are being scheduled sooner than expected. This flexibility helps reduce pressure on the system and allows cases to move forward without unnecessary delays. For many, this means finally reaching the finish line after years of waiting. Employment-based immigration is also seeing encouraging signs. Workers on visas like H-1B and L-1 often live with constant uncertainty, especially when extensions or green card stages are delayed. In February 2026, processing for certain extensions and employment-based applications has become more consistent. While not perfect, this stability allows workers and employers to plan with greater confidence. For highly skilled workers, researchers, and professionals who contribute to the U.S. economy, this improvement matters. It reduces the risk of status gaps, job disruptions, and last-minute emergencies. It also signals that the system recognizes the importance of keeping lawful workers in place rather than pushing them into unnecessary uncertainty. Another area where we are seeing notable changes is visa processing abroad. U.S. embassies and consulates, which were overwhelmed for years, are slowly increasing interview capacity in many regions while wait times remain long in some countries. More appointments are becoming available, and visa issuance is gradually improving. This is particularly good news for family-based immigrant visas and certain non-immigrant visas. Applicants who have been documentarily complete but waiting months for interviews are finally receiving appointment notices. For families, this can mean reunification after long separations. For students and workers, it can mean finally being able to enter the United States and begin the next chapter of their lives. February 2026 is also bringing clarity in the area of deportations and enforcement priorities. While immigration enforcement remains part of the system, there is growing emphasis on focusing resources on high-priority cases rather than broad, indiscriminate actions. For many immigrants with clean records, pending applications, or strong family ties, this shift reduces fear and uncertainty. This does not mean enforcement has stopped, but it does suggest a more targeted approach for families and individuals who are complying with the process and following the rules. This brings a measure of relief. Knowing that enforcement priorities are more defined allows people to breathe a little easier while waiting for their cases to be resolved. Another piece of good news is improved communication and processing efficiency in some areas. While the system is far from perfect, applicants are seeing fewer unexplained pauses and more predictable case movement in certain categories. Small improvements, when multiplied across millions of cases, make a real difference. It is also worth noting that many of these positive developments are the result of long-term adjustments. Staffing increases, procedural refinements, and system upgrades do not happen overnight. The effects are gradual, but February 2026 is showing that those efforts are beginning to pay off in visible ways. The broader immigration environment continues to be shaped by political debates and past policy decisions, including those from the Trump administration, which still influence enforcement and processing structures. However, within that environment, agencies are finding ways to improve efficiency and reduce unnecessary hardship for lawful applicants. For immigrants watching this video, the most important message is this: progress is happening, even if it feels slow. Work permits are moving faster, green card cases are advancing, visa interviews are opening up, deportation priorities are becoming clearer. These are real, tangible developments that matter in everyday life. That said, it is still essential to stay informed and cautious. Not every case will move quickly, and backlogs have not disappeared entirely, but compared to the uncertainty of previous months, February 2026 offers reasons for optimism. If you are waiting on a decision, now is the time to stay organized. Make sure your documents are current, respond promptly to any requests, monitor official updates closely, and most importantly, do not lose hope, because movement is happening. Immigration is not just about forms and timelines. It is about people building lives, supporting families, and contributing to communities. When the system works better, even slightly, it changes real lives in meaningful ways. As we continue through 2026, we will keep tracking these positive developments and explain what they mean for you in clear, simple terms. Good news does not always arrive all at once, but February is showing that progress is possible. If you or your family have been waiting for work authorization, a green card decision, a visa interview, or clarity about your future, this moment matters. The system is moving, and for many, it is finally moving forward. As we move forward from February into the rest of 2026, what matters most is not just today's good news, but the direction the system is taking. Immigration does not change overnight, but momentum does matter. When work permits start moving faster, when green card cases begin clearing again, when visa interviews slowly reopen, it signals that the system is responding, even if imperfectly, to the pressure families and workers have been under for years. These are the kinds of shifts that often come quietly before broader improvements follow. For many of you watching, this means now is the moment to stay prepared rather than discouraged. If your case has been pending, movement elsewhere in the system can eventually reach you. If you are early in the process, these improvements may shape your timeline more than you expect. Immigration journeys are long, but they are not static. February 2026 is showing that progress is possible. And while patience is still required, there are real reasons to believe the coming months may bring steadier processing and fewer surprises than what many endured before. If you are waiting on a decision, now is the time to stay organized. Make sure your documents are current. Respond promptly to any requests. Monitor official updates closely. And most importantly, do not lose hope, because movement is happening. Immigration is not just about forms and timelines. It is about people building lives, supporting families, and contributing to communities. When the system works better, even slightly, it changes real lives in meaningful ways. And as we continue through 226, we will keep tracking these positive developments and explain what they mean for you in clear, simple terms. Good news does not always arrive all at once, but February is showing that progress is possible. If you or your family have been waiting for work authorization, a green card decision, a visa interview, or clarity about your future, this moment matters. The system is moving, and for many, it is finally moving forward. That's all we have for this bulletin. The U.S. Immigration Hub news channel provides all necessary visa information and procedures for your U.S. immigration journey. It is important to understand the United States immigration processing steps, visa application requirements, processing times, forms, fees, and more. We will continue to provide all information about U.S. visitor visas such as B1 and B2, work visas such as L1A, L1B, and H1B, student visas, green cards, immigrant visas, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, and family immigrant visas. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the U.S. Immigration Hub News